In today's speech, I will be awarding my old captain of the Rough Rider Regiment, Theodore Roosevelt, the now 26th President of the United States, the Nobel Peace Prize for his work in the negotiations and the Treaty of Portsmouth for the ending of the Russo-Japanese War. Teddy Roosevelt was born on October 27, 1858. He then graduated from Harvard in the year 1880. After Harvard, he had a small tenure at Columbia Law College, but he decided to drop out and pursue other stuff. While he attended Harvard, Teddy was known all around campus because of his flashy way of dressing, and he had a way of stopping class by asking so many questions to the professor that even the quote that one time a professor had to tell Teddy, "This is my class, I am teaching it." Teddy did a lot of good work for America, including foreign affairs work, busting down on trusts, and even ushering in more land for the national parks of the US. Roosevelt was known as a hard-headed and very stubborn man, but he was a great leader and did a lot of good for the US and the economy. With the Russo-Japanese War on the brink of becoming a major world war, Teddy decided to step in and handle the negotiations personally. With the Treaty of Portsmouth, Roosevelt was able to negotiate the ending of the Russo-Japanese War and usher in an era of peace and prosperity. Roosevelt was known as an outstanding president with a lot of outstanding principles. He was able to overturn a lot of unsafe labor practices and all around made America a way safer place to live in for all of its inhabitants. One of Roosevelt's main accomplishments was his establishment of the Meat Inspection Act and the Pure Food and Drug Act. Theodore Roosevelt Key Events tells us that this important piece of legislation called for honest food statements to be on all the labels of the food readily available in grocery stores, and for random government inspections in all meat factories and wholesale food factories. Roosevelt also did a lot of good work for foreign affairs and made good relationships with other countries. Roosevelt was universally known as the trust buster, when in reality, he was nowhere near that. Ohio State University tells us that Roosevelt did not necessarily believe that big businesses were bad and evil, but he knew that they needed to be put on certain laws and regulations from time to time. Teddy Cooper tells us that Theodore Roosevelt believed that if a firm were to become large enough through reasonable means, that was okay and that the firm was able to stay on its course. But when the firm becomes large and big through unfair practices, the government should step in for the safety of the people. One of Roosevelt's biggest accomplishments in his presidency was his Land Conservation Act. The WhiteHouse.gov tells us that Teddy Roosevelt added a lot of national forests in the West. He preserved certain lands for public access, which we now walk on today as our public parks, and he created great new irrigation techniques to update the farming technology of America. In conclusion, Roosevelt was one of the most influential presidents and one of the best ones to do his job. Roosevelt made it his job to do the work of the people and do what they wanted him to do. He made America overall a safe place for people to live in, and he did a great job of doing so. Teddy ushered in an era of peace and tranquility and also made a lot of changes to the society that we know. Finally, with his negotiations on the Treaty of Portsmouth and the ending of the Russo-Japanese War, I'm happy to award Theodore Roosevelt, the 26th President of the United States of America, the Nobel Peace Prize.